Hello, and welcome back to my joyful series of everything you wanted to know and didn't about Project 2025. Today, I'm going to be talking about the military and foreign policy. The military section is actually pretty small. All you need to know is that they just want to increase it by a large amount. And here you might say, Megan, don't they already spend an inordinate amount on the military already? And I would be like, uh-huh. But since our next administration has a raging case of toxic masculinity, of course we're going to focus on being the bully of the playground. What does Project 2025 say about this? Well, the first quote I pulled is that warfighting will become the military's sole mission. Which, when you read that originally, you're like, okay, yeah, sure, but that is striking an offensive tone rather than a defensive tone of protecting the nation. This tells you instantly just how much the rhetoric of the Democrats being warmongers is just a bunch of malarkey. And from that, they basically want to dismantle a lot of the things the Biden administration put in place in the military. They want the NSC to vet all officer promotions, removing those that believe in climate change, critical race theory, and other extremisms. They want to eliminate Marxist indoctrination, critical race theory programs, and DEI hires, and they want to return to service all of those who refused to take the COVID vaccine and were thus dismissed. With that, they want to remove all military vaccine mandates, which is just so mind-blowing because you have to think about these people are deployed all around the world where there are still active variants of diseases and illness. We are talking polio, malaria, these things that American citizens shouldn't have to worry about because we've had the science to protect them against it. Finally, they want to expel all people with, quote, gender dysphoria from military service. And in line with that, they want to make all military physical fitness requirements to a single standard without consideration of gender, race, ethnicity, or orientation. Our military conscription is down by a lot. And personally, as a pacifist, I'm okay with that. But increasing these physical fitness requirements are just going to make that field even narrower. Related, let's talk nuclear escalation, which is something I really wish I didn't have to say. They want to remediate the Manhattan Project and Cold War nuclear sites. They want to develop new nuclear weapons, ending all ineffective non-proliferation treaties. Scary. And they want to streamline requirements and regulations of developing nuclear reactors. That's also scary because by streamlining, you are taking away some safety measures. I don't feel like I need to mention 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, but let's not take away regulations from nuclear power. I believe it is a safe way to generate power, but only in the context of lots and lots of safety guidelines. Turning now to foreign policy on the same note as the non-proliferation treaties, Project 2025 wants the Secretary of State to order an immediate freeze on all unratified treaties, international agreements, allocation of resources, foreign assistance disbursements, domestic, international contracts, etc. They basically want to scrap it and start anew because they don't like a lot of the organizations and countries that we've had a partnership with. They specifically say of European countries that they have a, quote, overwhelming number of socialist or progressive regimes, which are at odds with the freedom and growth-oriented policies of the U.S. And then they also specifically call out Latin America and say that leftist electoral victories there are hostile to American interests and breed corruption. We must challenge their socialist ideas that have captured their youth. They want to re-exit the National Human Rights Council, the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organizations, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, and WHO, the World Health Organization. They state here that they want to end blind support for international organizations, especially those that promote, quote, radical social policies as if they were human rights priorities, and those that are only, quote, too willing to trample human rights in the name of public health, specifically regarding WHO. Perhaps the most timely and most worrisome is they want to ensure Israel has the military means and support to destroy Palestinian Hamas. We all know that does not only destroy Hamas, that affects the Palestinian people who are facing a genocide right now. On the topic of humanitarian aid, they want to restrict all humanitarian aid to Syria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Lebanon, and Palestine. With how many people are displaced and starving in these countries right now, it is just going to be a huge blow to the region. For the people they do give humanitarian power to, they want to increase branding power of all humanitarian aid so that the US gets credit for it. But because we're a country that pulls itself up by its bootstraps, they want to continue to restructure the US Agency for International Development away from humanitarian aid and towards a journey of self-reliance for other countries. Which, you know how you do that? You give climate reparations, the thing you want to get rid of in the environmental section. You don't look at your military as a war-fighting machine. But what they mean here is not giving any sort of aid at all. They just want to leave these countries out on their own. And much like the social safety nets they want to get rid of here in the US, they want to shift those helping programs away from the government sponsorship to everyday people. Here they specifically cite they want to increase faith-based organizations in foreign aid outreach, which again, removes financial responsibility away from the government, but also that increases things like white saviorism and missionary work, which, I'm sorry, people should not have to change their religious beliefs in order to get the help they need. But what this also does is if faith-based organizations lead the charge, they can remove abortion and intersectionality from all foreign aid programs, which is their stated goal. They also want to eliminate all climate extremism, gender radicalism, and perceived systemic racism from any foreign aid programs. They want to remove all climate and DEI initiatives, eliminate gender advisors in the Office of Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment, and close loopholes in the PLGHA that allow abortion under global health assistance